Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. We're going to continue on our survival shelter with the knot series first. I've already been over the event hitch, which is the fixed end of this ridge line, the trucker's hitch, which is the tensioned end of this ridge line, and our double fisherman's bend, which is what's going to create these loops that we're going to be using in the next knot, which is the Prusik knot. So the Prusik loop is a mountain climbing knot. It's used to tension a rope and allow it to slide up and down another rope freely, but with tension on it, it locks in. So it's like a safety device. I don't climb mountains, I just put up tarps. So we're going to be putting quite a bit of tension on our tarp when we set it up. That way it's nice and taut. We don't have to worry about any flapping. It's very, very hard on the tarp. Most of my emergency survival tarps that I use are all ripped to pieces. The grommets rip out right away. They're usually taped into place. They're got burn marks. They live a hard life. Years and years and years I used the 550 cord. That was the standard. A few years back I switched to bank line. Smaller diameter cordage works better against a bigger diameter with a Prusik loop. Similar diameter works, but the smaller seems to bite a little better. So some of my tarps I set up with bank line. There's a better way. What I'm using now is 1/8 inch shot cord. So this is kind of like a mini bungee cord. This allows me to stretch the bungee cord out. It gives my tarp a little bit of give in the wind without tearing out my grommets. Now this is not going to last all that long. I think I bought 25 feet of it on Amazon or something. So I haven't used it enough yet to just start wearing through it and tell you how long that's going to last. But I'd rather buy this stuff than buy new tarps all the time. So as of right now, this is what I'm using. So I'm going to use the orange on orange here just for visibility. So I've got my Prusik loop. This one's about 6 inches. About a foot is better. This one's actually a little short. So the ridge line's in front of me. The Prusik loop's on the back. I'm going to make a sandwich out of this, go all the way around it, and I'm going to go through the loop. So I'm going to go once, twice, three times. Now I'm going to dress my knot. And that's the Prusik loop. Now when I pull tight, it ain't going nowhere. When I grab the body of the knot itself, it'll slide. Once it sets in, there we go. And we have a double fisherman's bend. The ridge cord's in front, the loop's in the back. I'm going to go over. I'm just going to hold one end fixed, and I'm going to take the other one through once, twice, three times. Now the one that went through, I'm going to hold on to. I'm going to let the fixed one go, and I'm going to dress my knot. And all that means is I'm going to make it look pretty. Going to make sure everything's laying flat. If this is not dressed properly, this does not hold. So this is more than just for looks. All right, so I'm going to try this green shot cord, see how this shows up against this orange cordage. So coming from the back side, I'm going to hold on to the top. I'm going to bring the bottom in through once. Bring it through twice. And bring it through three times. Now I just got to dress the knots, make sure everything's lined up, which this is. So you'll see each of the three lines laying flat. And now when I pull on this, it ain't gonna go anywhere. Both directions, but I'm still able to slide it. So here's another double fisherman's bend shot cord. I'm gonna come from the back side. I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 3. Dress my knots. Thing of beauty. Now, as far as practical application of the Prusik loop, I can just take and go right through the grommet hole. Grab any random stick. Use it as a toggle. And then slide this out. And the other end's going to get the same treatment. And then you can see how that shot cord works. So I can slide either end of these Prusik loops. So if I set up my ridge line and I see something I don't want to camp right next to, maybe I got poison ivy, maybe I've got, you know, animal droppings or something I don't necessarily want to camp with, I can take my entire tarp, slide it up and down to full length of my ridge line. Now, as far as tensioning it goes, I've got the other end fixed now. I'm just going to go through the grommet, throw a toggle in it, and then I can just draw this out. I'm going to put a little more tension on the other side. There we go. Now this will hold stronger than your tarp will. That's why this shot cord is such a good idea. When I have done this with 550 cord in the past, I've pulled it and tugged it, trying to get it as tight as humanly possible, and I ripped the grommets out. So out comes the duct tape. You can fix it and rock it out, but this shot cord seems to work a whole lot better. All right, so here's my Prusik loop on my ridge line, and here's what I was doing, a little bit better shot. So I'm just taking the loop, going right through the grommet. That's it. Now, I've used stakes in the past. Any old stick will work. So I'm just going to put it through the back side. Now when I pull that, it's going to catch the toggle, and then I can pull that tarp just as tight as I'm able. And that's going to hold us all day long. Now when I'm done, I can just slide this right back in, take my tarp down in a minute. These Prusik loops, I usually leave them on my ridgeline. All right, so this has been the Prusik loop. We're almost there. That's 4 of the 5 knots that we use to set up an emergency tarp shelter. We're going to be doing Lark's Head next. So until then, get some paracord, practice them up, and I'll see you next time. This has been Jamie Boggs for Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.